Hey there, people. D-Man here, and today I am reviewing Be the Beginning Season 2. I reviewed this all the way back in 2018. It has been like 2 to 3 years since then. That's crazy. Maybe even 4. 18, 19, 20, 21. No, 3 years. 3 years. Depends on when it came out in 18, I guess. It could be a few months, give or take. Anyways, Be the Beginning. Second season. The first season, if I remember correctly, I did like fairly. And the second season, I also fairly liked. It's not like the best thing in the world, but I fairly liked it. So I'm gonna do spoilers free, then spoilers. So spoilers free. Let's talk about the animation. The animation was fairly good. I wouldn't have noticed like if it was like a little bit of a better story, I wouldn't have noticed like all the small little flaws. Well, I probably would have, but it would have been better off if it was a better story. Because there's quite a few flaws. In one of the episodes, like the fingers were all messed up. And I think the very first episode they were walking and it was all messed up. It looked really weird. And one of the episodes they had like close ups of their heads and their heads looked like really fat, bulby heads. It was like really weird. But yeah, there was like a bunch of little animation errors. Not animation errors, technically, just like bad animation. Just in general. But for the most part, it was okay. Um, the characters, to be honest, I don't remember the first one. To be honest, I do not remember the first season, and I probably should have rewatched it or rewatched the main parts of it because this season, going into this season completely blind, was just not a good thing. Okay, if you don't remember the first season of this, you gotta go watch it again because if you don't, you're not gonna understand what's happening half the time and you're only gonna get like these fleeting memories. At least that's what I do. I got like some fleeting memories of what happened, but nothing much. So it doesn't really make sense without the first season. I mean, it kind of works on its own, but not really. You gotta watch like the first season to really understand it. And the characters are obviously some of the old characters. But I think there's some new characters, but I don't really remember, obviously. And they were all okay. They were all pretty good voice acting and pretty good characters. There was one that did some weird stuff with some incest, but that's a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler unless I say the name of him. Well, I don't know his name, but I'll tell you about him in the actual in the actual thing. But yeah, like the characters were fine. Voice acting was fine. Sorry about that little cut, but anyways, what were we talking about? We were talking about animation again wasn't that good. It was still fine, but it would have been a lot better. I wouldn't have noticed as much if it was like a better story. Just saying. Like if the animation's really bad, but it's a really good story, sometimes it evens out, but sometimes the animation is just too bad. Luckily, the story's not horrible and the animation's not like super horrible, but it does have some bad animation in there. Characters, same as last time, maybe a few new ones, but they're fine. Voice acting, again, fine. I'd actually say voice acting's pretty good. Um, Plot, can't really do that because it's spoiler free. Plot is fine, in my opinion. Even though there's only 6 episodes, and I almost was certain that there was going to be 12. I think maybe it's one of those things that like the second half comes out later. I'm pretty sure there's 12. I'm almost certain there's 12, but there's only 6 right now. So the other half might come out later, I guess. Which will be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. If there is a second half, I'll obviously review the second half, but the first half is 6 episodes. And if it is only the first, if it is like the whole season, they left us on a giant cliffhanger. Not going to spoil it. I will spoil it after the spoil section. After the spoil free section. Left us on a giant cliffhanger. um, so all in all, if I were to rate, like, I'm not going to rate, if I were to rate this like 1 to 10, 5 being average, 1 being like the worst, 10 being like, oh my goodness, you got to watch this right away. It'd be a 6. 6. Maybe 6.5, almost a 7. I don't know, somewhere around there. I wouldn't say it's something that like you need to watch. I would just say it's something that was enjoyable, I guess. Episodes were only about 25 to half an hour long, and it was fairly enjoyable. That's all I can really say about it, without spoiling it. So it was enjoyable. Although some dumb parts in there, but that's besides the point, I guess. And it would have been a lot more enjoyable if I remember the first one, which I do not remember at all. And some of this stuff relies on the first one heavily, so I'm kind of like, what's happening? Like in the first one, something happened, but it happened like 3 years ago, so I don't remember what happened because I never thought this thing was gonna get a second season, but it did. But yeah, it's okay. That's my recommendation. It's okay. Watch it if you loved the first one. If you didn't, it's probably skippable. If you haven't watched the first one, it's skippable. But anyways, spoiler section now.
Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, share this video, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below.
Spoiler alert. Okay. So, this show is based off of the last one. And the last one, from my recollection, was there was a guy that went by the name B who's like a mutant. I think he was like a human experiment or an alien, and there was several of them, I guess. And he fought against his own kinds and he killed humans. And he was just like a mutant, I guess. And he was like an assassin, I think, if I remember correctly. He was an assassin. And then there was a detective guy and a detective girl and the girl actually lived above the assassin guy or lived close to the assassin guy. And she was like friends with him, but she didn't know he was the assassin guy, obviously. But he was like our main protagonist or slightly antagonist. I guess he's like an anti-hero sort of thing. And the girl and there was a smart guy with glasses. He was there to go after. He was there. He was like a cop. He went after bad guys, obviously. And the girl was his partner, and she also went after bad guys. And I think they might have had like a little bit of a romantic relationship, kind of, or maybe it was like a daughter-father relationship. I don't remember. In this one, it doesn't really elaborate because he was like gone for half of the season. So it doesn't really elaborate at all. But I think they might have had something romantic. Not sure. Anyways, smart guy. Anyways, this guy, he's killing people. I think he's doing it to find his bride or something like that, because he's like called the king or something, the Black King or something. And he's trying to find his bride. And then the smart guy's trying to stop him and find out who he is. And then at the end, he finds out who he is, and something happens and people die or something like that, or he saves people. And then the girl finds out who he is too, and she's like, I can't believe you're him. But then everything kind of goes back to normal, and they're back to where they were. But he's a good guy now. He's no longer anti-villain. He's this good guy. It's that's all I can remember. And there's some like laboratory stuff and some backstory. Totally forgot most of it. And then this season, we meet up with the smart guy. So smart guy, we don't meet him up with first. I'm telling his story first because his is the easiest to tell. But we see the smart guy. He's following these clues that one of our main protagonist, like one of his kind, like one of the mutants, is putting these clues so their smart guy finds them. Eventually, they find him. They kidnap the smart guy and they put him on this island without food or water, and they're gonna kill him. And of course, he's just stuck there, and we get to see him every once in a while until he starts hallucinating because he's like so dehydrated, and he hallucinates this girl that I think we saw in the first season, and it turns out to be his sister, but he loves her, so it's kind of incesty, as I already said. Like, he totally wanted to incest his sister, like straight up. He wanted to incest his sister. And I'm pretty sure she was killed by like her lover. And it's because, at least in this guy's head, because this is all like fantasy to him, I guess, because it's all his hallucination. But I think it was at least in his head. I don't know if this was in reality. It probably wasn't. But in his head, it was because she also wanted the incest. They both wanted the incest. Okay, at least in this guy's head. It's weird. It's weird, but I guess that's his backstory that I think we slightly picked up on the first season, but I don't remember again. So he's stuck on this island, and he's just stuck there for the whole season, pretty much. And then most of the episodes we get with him are like the hallucination episodes. So we have our main protagonist, the Killer Bee. I'm gonna call him Killer Bee because I forgot his name. Goku, that's his name. Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Mutant Goku. Anyways, we have him, and he meets up with some of the kids from his old orphanage, all mutants, by the way. And this kid's just like, yo, bro, I'm back because I was asleep. Don't remember how that happened or whatever, but sure. Sure, it was in the first season, but I don't remember. But he's like, I was asleep, but I'm awake now. You want to join my cause? I'm gonna like change this world and fuck up some people, I guess. And then the guy's just like, nah, bro, I'm out of that. I'm out of that shit, man. I'm out. And he's like, okay, man. And then they walk their separate ways. And then he's like, instantly like, I'm a bad guy. Follow that guy and try to kill him. Like, just keep an eye on him, try to kill him. They follow him. They keep an eye on him. Then they try to kill him. And then they're like, oh, we can't kill you, but guess what? We have your friend, and we're gonna kill him unless you work for us. And then he's just like, okay, I'm just going to straight up kill you right now. And then he's just like, you can't kill us because guess what? If you kill us, your friend's going to die anyways. And then our organization's going to go after your other friend. So you're fucked. And he's like, God damn it. He's just like, God damn it. So then he goes along with their plans. He steals one person and kidnaps another. And then it turns out the person that he kidnapped to protect from the bad guys, because at this point it's all kind of ruined and they know he's evil. But at this point, he's got all of his friends out of the way, out of the bad guys' reach. So it's pretty cool. But his friend, but what was I gonna say? But the guy he ended up saving was actually the bad guy. See, there was two bad guys. One bad guy was just like, okay, we gotta destroy these things because I want peace with our enemies, I guess. So he wanted to do the wrong thing for the right reason, I assume. And it's like a royal capital, so he's the king, I guess. But the actual king is just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to create more weapons so we can have power over our enemies, sort of thing. Obviously wrong thing for the wrong reason. And they're both kind of in the wrong. Like, you can't just kill people because you think it's the right reason. But you could just, like, let them live normal lives. But the other guy obviously just wants weapons for his nation, so that's pretty fucked up, too. But yeah, we have all that. We see all that. And then eventually, scientist guy comes back to town. Or comes back, I guess. Not comes back to town. He comes back through kind of like his own science invention, and also our main character saving him, and he's dehydrated. And one of our villains tried to kill our main character, but wasn't strong enough. And then we find out why she wasn't strong enough, because he's basically he adapts to everything, you know. So I think he's like, it's because he's like Darwin from the mutants. From Marvel comic mutants, obviously. I mean, probably not as powerful as Darwin, but he's like Darwin, I guess. So he has like these powers that can adapt to anything, pretty much. Which means that he can basically just kill anybody, I guess. And then we get this final clash between him and the evil guy. And they're clashing, and because the evil guy's evil and this guy's good. He's just like, I'm going to stop you. And the other guy's just like, nah, I'm going to stop you. Even though you can kick my ass. I just said that, but whatever, I guess. We're going to stop each other somehow. I don't really understand the logic behind that, but whatever. And then it just ends. And it's left on a cliffhanger. That's why I think there's going to be a second half, but then again, I don't know. So this might be the end of the season, and if there's another season, it'll probably kick off from this, but if there's a second half, I guess I'll review that. So yeah, all in all, this season was fine. It was a little bit confusing because I didn't remember the last season. I still don't, to be honest. And I'm not really going to go watch it again because I just don't want to. I guess I could go watch like a summary on YouTube or something, but whatever. All in all, this season was fine. Everything about it was kind of just average to fairly good. Animation was just kind of like, it was okay. It had some bad parts to it though, obviously. But yeah, all in all, this season, or at least the beginning of the season, I don't know exactly, was fine. And that's my review, I guess. It was just fine. Watch it if you liked the first one. If you haven't watched the first one and you want to, then I guess go right ahead and then you can watch this one after. But if you don't want to, don't watch it. You're not going to miss anything really. It's fine. It's got an average plot line. It's just fine. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification. That's the best way to keep my content. Sorry about the little cut, but as I was saying, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below. And as always, friends, stay sane. Peace. Just a reminder to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, and share this video. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below. Shadow, my baby, I love you so much. You're my baby. And you love to sleep in the bathtub. 'Cause you're a weirdo. Shadow, look over here, buddy. Look over here.